I love the way a good feel-good story hooks you. It stays with you. You know, like a movie where a situation is touch and go for the main characters at first, and then it all comes together. Those moments are what we remember. Those are the stories we love to repeat. And I think that's why certain Bible stories stick with us too. Especially parables like the lost sheep or the prodigal son. You know, in the lost sheep story, we hear where the shepherd searches tirelessly until he finds the one that wandered. In the prodigal son, we've got the father who throws a joyful party for a son who really doesn't deserve a thing. These stories, they tug at our hearts. They're full of broken relationships, forgiveness, and celebration. The arc of that story is just right. And then we come to chapter 16. And instead of sheep or sons, Jesus tells us a story about money. And let's be honest, we could be tempted to skip right over this one. But don't. Today we're diving into Luke 16, 19 to 31. Now it's worth noting that this chapter begins with two parables, both that open in the same way. There was a rich man. This tells us that Luke is being intentional. Jesus is speaking to his disciples, but we also learn that the Pharisees, who loved money, were sneering at Jesus. And then verse 19 begins as Luke contrasts two men. We've got a nameless rich man and a poor beggar named Lazarus. This may have actually rooted from a familiar folktale from that ancient time, retold here, but with a purpose. So we read that Lazarus lies at the rich man's gate. He's sick and he's starving, and yet he's invisible to the one who could help him. Then both men die. Lazarus, he's carried to Abraham's side, and the rich man, he's in torment. He's pleading for relief, but it's too late. Abraham says, "You received your good things. Now he is comforted, and you are in agony." This story does not have a feel-good ending. There is no celebration, no reconciliation. We just are faced with this uncomfortable truth. It's more like that documentary we didn't want to watch, but needed to. Maybe that's the point. Here, Jesus is contrasting these two lives. We've got the rich man who had power and he had means, but he ignored the suffering at his doorstep. It forces us to ask hard questions. Who are we overlooking? Where are we being blind? So I have a couple of requests for you. First of all, don't skip Luke chapter 16. But second, as you read it, don't also obsess over the details, like the places that Lazarus and the rich man are sent to after they die, or around the fact that we really don't know anything about Lazarus' history or his relationships. Instead, read it, and then step back and look at the bigger picture. And as you do, wonder with me, who's at your gate? Is there someone God has been prompting you to see, to learn from, to serve? And second, what does it look like to live open-handed, to use your resources for others and not just yourself? This chapter may not make us feel amazing, but it can open our eyes.